Oh, my aching back. Today, we're going to talk about the lower back and what happens. That's a problem for many people. Now, when you talk about the mind and how the mind affects the body, there's different aspects of the mind that start to tighten up. Like take, for instance, if a person's having problem with their abilities in life, what they do. What happens, the ability rules the back. Your abilities. So if you're feeling a cramped part of your abilities or not able to do something, it's usually reflected into the back. The low back has to do with loss, fear of losing something. So when a person is walking around and they're having a problem like this, that usually stems from something that they're losing, or they're afraid that they lost, or they're afraid of losing. Where the back has to do with incomplete communications. So when you're not telling everything, you're not letting it out, you're hiding something, you have a fear, what you do is you start to clench. As you clench down, what happens is it reflects in the mind and then goes to a part of the body, and where usually incomplete communications. Communication is in the chest or in the throat, which makes sense. This is where we communicate from. The low back, people seeing you as a loser sometimes. Because what will happen is you'll start to look at people and you'll feel that they're seeing you as a loser, or you won't be making the communications the way you'd like to. So you start clenching, and when you clench, you usually pull down here and the back cramps. When a person has a severe back problem, and you hear of people going in all the time getting operations. You know, they're getting operations because they're trying to fix the back. They're getting operations trying to fix something. The operation is the radical part of medicine, because that's the very end. What are we going to do? At the last thing we can do, we'll operate. If a person can change the way they're thinking, the way they see life, they can start to free up a pattern, and as they free up the pattern, the situation goes away. Listen to this. Just the other day, I was talking to friends of mine. I was talking to Lucy and Lynn, and I was telling Lucy she had to be more flexible in her life. She had to let things flow more. And I was telling her this whole thing about flexibility. And I was in Ohio. I was working in Ohio. And I came back from Ohio. I got in at 12 o'clock at night. It was a busy day. I was running around and doing a lot of things. And I got home, and there's a message on my recorder. Good news, Woody. We're going to New York tomorrow morning. So I called her up, and I said, Lucy, you don't understand. I worked all day, and I've got things to do today. I can't go to New York. And she said, what about flexibility? I said, oh, that lesson was for you, not for me. In fact, one of the easiest I found as far as exercises or how to work with the back is to use the things that you have in your house that are the easiest. Like, for instance, a blanket. Let me show you this. This is a regular blanket. You know, regular, like an army blanket. And what I do when I'm having a problem with my back, this is one of the most effective exercises I've ever done. You fold the blanket up like this. It's called a blanket roll. Okay, now if this is too big, and you'll notice when you lay on it, if it's too big, you can fold it out a little. You sort of adjust it for your back, because if your back's really sore, you only want a little roll. And then if there's not that much pain, you can roll it up more, or if you can take it, and you make a bigger bump. Let me show you how this one works. So you place the blanket on the floor. Okay. And then what you want to do is you want to get out. I'll just move these things to the side. And you sit down on the floor. Okay, remember you have a sore back, so you're going to sit down gently. And you put the blanket right at the lower part of the back, right where the low back, right in there. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down. And see, right on the small of the back, that's where I have that roll. And first of all, you start off like this. You gently start to move your feet. So I'm moving my feet this way and this way, and I'm getting a rocking motion. So when I'm getting this rocking motion, what's happening is I'm starting to put space in between the vertebrae. As I put space, I get more space in there, and my back starts to lengthen, and as it lengthens, I'm sort of relaxing here as I'm doing this. This feels so good. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a partner or a friend, Frank, could you come in for a second?
Sure.
What I want you to do is grab the end of my feet. Okay, and now just start to move them. Push them towards my head, a little gentler, not so much. Because when a person has a sore back, you don't want to be too strong. You just want to take time, so go slow. Okay, good, that's a good shot. Now even a little slower than that. Slow it down a little. Just very gently. Okay, see that movement there? As he's making that movement, he's moving. I'm just laying here. My back is starting to relax. As my back relaxes in here, I get more length, and the pain starts to go away. Okay, thanks, Frank. Now, there's another thing. When you start to have a problem with the upper back, this is another one you can do with the same roll. You take the roll, and you put it down so it's straight up and down. Then you lay down on it again, and what you start to do is rock from one side to the other, back and forth, back and forth. So as I'm rocking like this, what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to work the muscles in such a way that they're starting to relax. So I move from one side to the other. Remember, no stress, no strain. Only gain. Then I can take the same roll, turn it again, and put it right up here on my upper back and start to move back and forth again. See this? This time my feet are bent and I'm moving up and down. Okay. So it's a real easy exercise. So remember, you've got three ways. The one for the low back goes right under the low back. You've got it going the other way, and then you have it for the upper back. You do these exercises when your back's sore. This will take care of 90% of the backache. Now there's another household tool. No, hand me that towel for a second, because we all have towels. You don't have to go out and buy anything.
You want them to get
Yeah, let me have this towel.
Why don't you get a towel?
Okay, now get a towel, everybody. Okay, you spread the towel out. Now what you do is you fold the towel right up the middle. So you get a nice crease in the middle of the towel. Okay, and what that crease is, that's where your spine's going to go. Then you start to roll it up. Now what I have at home is I have two of these in my bed. What I've done is I've rolled them up like this, and then after I've rolled them up, I've taken a rubber band and put one on each side. So this is always in my bed. Right in the middle, it's soft because that's where the spine goes, that's where the roll is. So what you do at night before you go to bed, and the important thing about this is you want to remember, in the beginning, only do it 2 to 3 minutes. As you build up, you can do 15, 20 minutes. But in the beginning, just 2 to 3 minutes. You take the same thing. You're going to bed at night, and you take the towel, and you put it right under the low back. And you do the same exercise. You start to move up and down, and then you could fall asleep like this. And then you take the other towel, and you put it right behind the neck. So you've got one here and one there, and you're just relaxing. And what will happen is your spine starts to sink down into that, and as it sinks, you get more length. As you get more length in the low back, what happens is the pain starts to go away. These are two exercises with both the roll and the towel and the blanket roll that you can do. Everyone's got a blanket at home and a towel. And it's been one of the most effective exercises I've been able to do. Sometimes I'm on the road, and I'm out there working, and I don't have a chiropractor. I don't have the different massage tools. And my back's, stress and strain, and you're busy. You don't have time to sleep sometimes, or you don't have time to eat. And what happens is, where does the pain go? boom, right into the low back. So those are two exercises that I highly recommend. There's quite a few exercises. I'll tell you what, we'll show a few more exercises. Before I do that, what I'd like to do is I'd like to talk about some of the tools that you can get at the health food stores in a different place. One is called the Ma Roller. Thank you. This looks like a pepper grinder. And what it is, it's a piece of hardwood. Oh, this one's just a roller. This one's not even Ma's. This one must be Pa's roller.
Pa's roller.
And what this has is two bumps. Apparently they take it in a lathe or something, and they make two bumps with the lathe. And what happens is the spine, you don't really want this hard wood on your spine. The spine sits right here, and on both sides of the spinal column you have muscles. And then as you lay on this, roll on this, what this does is this relaxes the muscles on both sides of the spinal column. In a moment I'll show you how it works. Let me have some of those other gadgets. Now this one looks like an old Viking warrior tool. Conan. What this is, it's hard rubber. And the hard rubber apparently has some, the way they molded it, there's some bumps in it, and it's set up like a rolling pin. So you can actually roll this. So this one, it's best to have a friend. Boy, if you've got a friend with you, they can do this one on you, and it feels great. If not, you can start working it on yourself and just go right into that back problem and start moving this thing around. And boy, this feels great. You can really start to relax the muscles. And even on the upper back, you can reach this way, go up there, and really start to work your shoulders. And you can actually do a complete massage on yourself. On the sides. Now in the beginning you don't want to do it on raw skin because it's, you know, these things are pretty, they're not really hard, but they're hard enough that you'll feel it. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll stretch out, I'll bring up one of my legs, and I'll start to work on my legs just like a rolling pin. And then bring it back on my back again. So see what I'm doing? I'm not really stressing myself at all. I'm using the stool to hold up my leg and really starting to work it. If this stool is too high, then do it on a lower stool or on your bed. Make yourself comfortable and really start to work those muscles. What it does is it starts to free up the fascial tissue. With the fascial tissue, we'll call the fascial tissue like a plastic bag that holds the muscle in place. And when the body gets clenched from stress, strain, trauma, it clenches, and when the body clenches, you start to clench down and things start to hurt. These tools start to relax it. Now I've got two more. This one I got from a martial artist named John in Boston. This one's similar to the other tool. What it has little plastic rolling pin things. This one's much harder than the other one. But when you work this, this actually goes down and works the fascial tissue really well. So it's applying more pressure, and it's not moving the skin, but it's moving that tissue right under the skin. So you can really get down deep. Let me show you on my back again. So as I'm rolling this one, it's a little harder to do, but it really starts to make a difference. In fact, watch this. This is an amazing thing I found about this one. Watch this. When I bend down, okay, this is about as far as I can go right now, touching my toes. Okay, I'm going to do this. We should have somebody else on so I could show how really effective this is. Now, I'll do a little of this work on my thigh. And what I'm doing is I'm working the fascial tissue and rolling out the muscles. Okay, and then the bottom of my leg. So what I'm doing is I'm actually stretching the tissue from the inside. Okay, and now the other leg. So I'm stretching again. I'm starting to stretch out the tissue. Okay, both on the inside and the outside. Now, I'll put it down. And now when I reach down, it gives me a lot more length. I know this might look fake, but that's true. I couldn't go any further the first time. What it's doing is it really gives me more length. I've stretched out these muscles. So by stretching out the muscles, it gives me a lot more movement and a lot more flexibility.
I've noticed a procedure here, your body maintenance. Is this recommended with constant pain, or should you visit your physician?
You know what's interesting is all the animals on this planet have grooming habits. A lot of times we get so busy in our daily life, we forget to do those grooming habits. We get our hair done, we go to the beauty shop, we get our nails done, and we do certain things, but we forget to do personal body maintenance. What personal body maintenance is you taking responsibility for your own health. Instead of going to the doctor and saying, "Doctor, my back's sore, give me a pill. Doctor, this doesn't work." The doctor of today, let him work on serious problems. And this way you start working on your own health. Okay, there's another tool I'd like to show you. These are the bongers. Now these are a lot of fun. What they are, they look like they're two rubber balls, and they're put on a piece of spring steel with a handle. And what you can do is you can move them back and forth like this. Okay, so when you're working on your back, what you're doing is you're getting a gentle massage. So you turn around, excuse my back, and see this? I just gently start to beat. It's like getting a massage. You move down the back, and then because you've got some length here, oops, you can reach over on the sides, and then as you bend down, start to work the lower back, and what you do is you break up those little crystals of congestion that we all get. You know how you start to crystallize and tighten up? What these do, the bongers, whoa, is they start to relieve that. And as that relieves and goes away, you're able to work your body in such a way that you can take responsibility for your own health. And by taking responsibility for your own health, you're in charge of the situation.
Well, I can see where body maintenance is really important. Are these very expensive?
I believe that the roller, the wooden roller, was about $10, and the little plastic one, let me pick it up and show you. We'll go over them. This is the wooden roller. Okay, the wooden roller I think cost about $20 at the health food store. This one you don't see in too many places. I think this was also about $20 or $25.
I've never ever seen one.
Yeah.
Like that.
You know what you can use if you don't have one of these? You can get a rolling pin. Go into the cupboard, get a rolling pin out, and just a regular rolling pin. What it does, in fact, someone in the house has a sore back and you don't know what to do. Okay. Gently, you start to roll those muscles on the side of the back. Or you roll, if someone has a leg problem, you start to roll that out, and you start to take it away. This way, a person can do something for their own health. What happens if you have a back problem and you can't get in touch with your doctor? You want to do something, you're in pain. You take 2 aspirins and you go, boy, I hurt a lot. So at least there's some tools by using the towel roll, by using the blanket roll, by using some of these tools. I always have these in my house. This is another good one, you know, that I showed before. This one costs $16, and the only place I found it is in Boston. But I'm sure they're around. You have to check in the health food stores. And the bongers, you get 2 of them for $10. It's a heck of a deal. And you just bong yourself.
Great. So that's some of the procedures in body maintenance. What else do you recommend? Baths as well, or?
Well, there's if you have a problem with your back, the best thing to do is to check with some professional. So this way, you're making sure that you're not going to hurt yourself. But if it's just a minor congestion, or if you've had a back problem for a while, you know, I wouldn't go out and say, oh, I've got a back problem and buy all these tools right away. I'd check with someone that knows. Okay.
And then gradually get into your own body
sure,
maintenance.
but there are some other exercises that you can do. Let me show a couple of them. The reason I know is one of the problems I've had in the past is a sore back. So these are some of the exercises that I've done. They're really simple. First of all, let's say you're on the bed, and you're laying in bed, and you go, oh, my back hurts, I can't move. The way to get up is like this. So you're in your bed, your back hurts. You roll over to one side on your elbow. And then you push down and lift yourself up on that elbow. So there's no stress on your back. I'll show you once more.
Very good.
You turn over on the side, you push down on the elbow, and you lift yourself up. So this way there's no stress on the back and you're already up. Now when you want to get off the bed, what you do is, move back a little guys so you can see this. You drop your feet like this. So as I'm dropping my feet, I'm starting to go up. See, like if I'm on the bed, instead of just trying to get out of the bed, you drop the feet and push yourself up, and boom, there you're up. And then you can get right up.
Great, I like that. Very good.
Okay, another one that I find, they do this all through the Orient. In the United States, this isn't something that we do. This is how most of the people in the world have babies, how they talk, and how they relieve themselves. And what it is they talk like this. They're down like this, and this is how they do their eating. This is how most of the women have babies, and this is how they go to the bathroom. And what it is, as they stretch like this, it gives you length in the back and stretches the spinal column. So as you're stretching that out, that relieves the back. This one's a little harder to do, but you go down gently. You come down and just relax into it. If it's hard, take a book and put a book under your heels.
Don't force it.
No, no force, no stress, no strain. What I found about body maintenance, this is really important. If you have pain, don't try to go through the pain. What the best thing to do is move away from the pain. So if you move this way and there's pain, you move the other way. You move away from the pain, you take a deep breath in, and then you move back, and then you exhale. So let's say I was having a pain in my neck. Some people are pains in the necks. Usually, when you say, boy, I've got a pain in my neck, the best thing to do is look around in your life and see if there's anybody that's giving you a pain in the neck or a pain in the back, because your body will reflect what's going on in your environment. So let me show you the one for the neck. Let's say I turn my neck this way and there's pain. I go this way and there's more flexibility. So what I do is I'd go to the side that's more flexible. I'd take a breath in, I'd inhale, then I'd turn my head, hold for a moment, then I'd exhale, inhale again, and move the other way. What it does is it allows the breath to get in line with the body movement, and usually you get more flexibility.
And another key to body maintenance.
One of the best keys. The more you can do for yourself, the more responsibility that you can take for your own health, the healthier you'll be. Too many people put the responsibility over there. He did it to me, she did it to me, they're doing it to me. When we start to take responsibility for the things that happen in our life, then things start to happen. Things start to change for the better, because if you say, I'm totally responsible for it, and something goes wrong, you change it. If something goes right, you get the credit for it.
Right, so body maintenance is an everyday occurrence.
Right. What we do is we take care of ourselves the best we can, then we start to take care of our family, and then we start to take care of our friends, and then we take care of the community, and then we start to take care of the planet and the universe. But where it starts is it starts with you. If you want to make a change, where to make the change is start to make the change in the inside. You make the change in your body, in your environment, in your life, and what happens is change starts. You get new possibilities. You have new openings, and you have miracles coming into your life.